Hey, guys, let's get into this. All right, so collective message, we shall see what we've got. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands starts out with communication. Now, obviously, there is, we got the bird, which represents like a return because birds are migratory. We have the butterfly, which represents a transformation. We have two people that have been holding on to each other. Could be two fire signs we're dealing with, doesn't have to be. But I feel this is a passionate communication that there's like a desire. There's always maybe been a desire to talk. That desire has not faded. This could also be that words haven't yet been spoken that have, been wanted to be said. The birds can also be our messengers. So it could be that somebody has like, a connection to their ancestor or something, and the ancestral like encouragement is, at some point next time you see this person, you'll get a chance to talk to them. Meanwhile, we have this feminine who's the butterfly wings. Perhaps what she would want to say has actually shifted and changed. Sometimes there's a good reason for, delays in the ability for two people to communicate, because it gives them a chance to think about their own life differently. Okay, so she, by the way, has like the deep red wings, and now we have her in a deep red gown. Nine of Pentacles, loving her single life, feeling super abundant. It's usually a single person's card. This is kind of the hills are alive with the sound of music, kind of Julie Andrews, spinning, twirling around at the top of a mountain. And we have an Eight of Cups. There is something here about she's kind of surrendered. It's okay if we talk again, if we talk but nothing comes of it, it's all okay with me. I've already surrendered it. And we see two versions of her here. She's very independent. She has like her spiritual self and her physical self are both busy looking at other things. This is not the primary focus of her whole life as to whether or not she, has a particular conversation with someone. Like the context of the dialogue, maybe once upon a time she had an agenda of what she wanted out of a dialogue. She doesn't anymore. I mean, she may still want to talk to this person and be like, oh, it'd be great to catch up with them. But as far as like what needs to be said, what needs to happen, she doesn't have that like locked in on like, okay, I'm waiting for the day that we have this dialogue. Not at all. Let's see from their perspective. Let's talk about the bird. Okay, so we have a Six of Cups and a bird again. To depict our bird-headed person here. This is two people that are going to be talking, two people that should talk at some point because they both obviously care about each other, like each other. Our bird person, who's now riding on the, swan cloud here in their thought processes, they feel like she is a soulmate. They feel like she is somebody that they would very much like to interact with on this very sparkly, beautiful, even childlike vibe. We have a Queen of Swords in the reverse. Again, because birds are migratory. I don't know if this is somebody who says, I would love to return and talk to her, but I fear that she was very angry at me. Or if they're saying, I would love to go talk to her, she's a soulmate, but this would anger a Queen of Swords, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius feminine, who they could have been married to, or this could be, it is someone, like she is somebody that they maybe expected to marry. Let me see. Or she expected to be married to them. Who is the Queen of Swords in this? Queen of Pentacles upright. So it could have been a long-term relationship. Page of Cups, something about the past versus the future. I need more clarity. Hang on. Bird person, can we see your situation as it was? We've got the Inspiration of Wands sideways. I'm feeling indecisive about which path to go. This would be the Page of Wands in any other deck, which is like that little spark, that little ember of, I'm attracted, I want to do this, I have this creative spark, I'd like to go here, do that, feel this way about somebody. So we could have them in an energy of like indecisive, since that card is sideways, about which way to go. Inspiration of Swords, there's that Page of Swords, spying, gathering information. But here we have like the bird flying out of the box. Again, they're always a bird. I keep feeling like they have things that they need to say. They are the ones who, like I said before, birds are migratory, so they, come back around to things. They also go from, one place to the other. And we do have possibly two different queens. I was asking who is the Queen of Swords, and then it was clarified by the Queen of Pentacles and two faces here on that Page of Cups. And for some reason, I just kept wondering, have they been unsure about which soulmate they wanted to go toward? And is that maybe why we have the bird? I was here with her, but then I was also over there with her. I want to return to this soulmate. I want to talk to her, but I'm wondering if they go back and forth. Okay, this says that they were doing some spying. We have letters being written, but we have a pen and a pencil here as well. Again, sideways with the Action of Swords. I feel like we have an indecisive person. And maybe it's because we have more than one soulmate. I'm not saying that they were cheating or anything like that necessarily, but it may be that this person, you notice how they're still murky, right? They're in the shadows or the fog, and they aren't at the moment of clarity yet. And if they move too quickly in any direction, they could just stay lost in the fog. I feel like this is definitely somebody who has not had a clear vision of what they want, where they belong. Yeah, they needed to slow it all down. We got the Action of Pentacles. If there was an energy of, actually, let me pause. Let me not say it that way. What did you want with the Queen of Swords? Why do you think she's a Queen of Swords in the reverse also? Strength card upright, there was a powerful bond. Powerful bond. I don't know if it was love. The Moon, they don't know either. There was a powerful bond for sure, but in the subconscious, and again, we got the bird, we got the ancestors sitting right there saying, you need to figure this out. Just because you have a strong bond to somebody, is it that you love them, you want to marry them, you want to be with them, or is it they're a kindred spirit, they're somebody that is like a platonic soulmate? I'm wondering if this has been the whole issue. They didn't know who like a romantic partner was supposed to be. Let me just ask, Queen of Pentacles. Is the Queen of Pentacles the same person to you? Who is the Queen of Pentacles to you? Sideways reversed, a tilted card. We get the Two of Swords in the reverse. And we've got the two doors. I am really struggling with either this is just them in their mind saying, I couldn't decide who somebody was to me. Are they a lover or are they like a friend? Six of Cups again. Soulmate. Okay, so at minimum, even though I still feel confused by this because they're very confused and confusing, they are somebody who is known that a queen or two queens were soulmates, but they were unable to determine, what does that mean? This is a powerful bond. Is this a romance? Is this not? Now, maybe this is still just dealing with one queen, and it was like, I confused her. Maybe sometimes I treated her like she was a friend. Sometimes I treated her like I wanted to be a lover, and I gave her mixed signals. That could be the situation, which would kind of track with what we've seen here. Because she's over here saying, look, what's transformed is I'm really happy. I'm doing my own thing. I've already walked away from, I don't need anything from this person. I don't need them. Sure, I'll talk to them, but I don't need them to tell me that I'm beautiful. I'm not waiting for them to love me. If it is possible that in the past, what the bird person did is they're like, I pissed off and disrespected this Queen of Swords. She has every right to hate my guts because I played around with like the idea of she was here in this wedding dress, but I couldn't decide. I mean, I know she's wonderful. She's great. She's stable. She's amazing. I respect her. But then I pissed her off so badly, made her angry, made her maybe hurt because I played games about something really important, not meaning to play games, but I was really confused and I owe her an apology, but I also didn't know what to say. Do I owe an apology because, oh my God, I'm sorry I came across as unclear, when the truth is I've still been unclear. I have this powerful bond to her, but I don't know what it means. Are we lovers? Are we, what are we? Now, all of this still seems like, why are you pretending that you're attracted to somebody in a romantic context if that's not how you feel? Like, I don't understand how they could be that confused about like desire and their heart, other than they're like, well, it's such a strong bond and she's such an amazing person. And even the ancestors are like, you need to figure yourself out. Deep down, who do you think she is to you? What do you want from her? Are you leaning toward her because you want her strength? Are you leaning toward her because you want her to make you feel special? Are you leaning toward her, for what reason? You need to really be honest with yourself. And here we go again to, well, she's a soulmate. However, we have like a Valentine's Day card, and we have this rose that's been preserved, and we have this like friendship bracelet. So we have, again, the blend of, well, I think we're good friends, but then also I tried romance and I just don't want her out of my life. She's a soulmate. Look, she doesn't really need them back in her life as, like I'm not waiting for a dialogue with them where they tell me that they love me. She's walked away from that concept already. So let's get a deck just for her, because I think that's maybe a really good message in all of this. If this was a weird, I can't figure out what this person wants from me. Do they want to date me? Are we palsy-walsies? It feels like that indecisiveness ended up, at least they think, the bird person believes, it ended up with them pissing her off. She became the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Whereas when she was very giving, very grounded, very certain, she became very angry at them. So we're going to go with this just being one queen. Let's go over and talk to that one queen who seems to have been in that Nine of Pentacles energy, the Eight of Cups. She's walked away from all this. Two of Swords. Yeah, she's kind of like, look, somebody was clearly indecisive. And I've put all that behind me. You notice how those two doorways, that thing about two doorways, we saw it on the bird person's side already as well, but they were clearly uncertain. So now I just look to my own future, and I'm uncertain what I will find in my future. Even here, she is two different people. Maybe these two are not that dissimilar as far as like, look, you'll know what you are looking for when you find it, but sometimes you find other people along the way and you try to give them a place in your life that maybe they don't really fit into. We have Temperance card sideways, and we have, this palette. It's like I could paint these pretty pictures, but are they the right person to paint into the big picture of my life? I do think she's like, I'm not even mad about this. I'm really not. I think deep down, she's like, I don't know who they were supposed to be in my life either. Maybe this was two people needed to just admit, you're important to me. I love you as a person. I have no idea that we're a romantic match. It almost feels like both of them felt the same way, or certainly have come to that conclusion at this point. So if that is the case, let me just ask this. Where are you at, feminine? We have got the Two of Wands. Again, we already had the Two of Swords, which can be the card of blocking, but because we had two doorways, I was saying like she's already like put that in her past. They weren't sure. Honestly, I don't know that I was ever sure about them either. Where is she at with them now? I don't really know if I want to talk to them. Do I want to open a window? Do I want to, reread or write to them? She does not know that she even cares to really hear from them, but it does appear that she may end up hearing from them. What's going to happen if you hear from them? We have got the Queen of Pentacles sideways. So she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to give. I mean, I guess as a generous person, I could be like, hey, yeah, no, you know what? We're all good. Don't even stress about like whatever happened in the past. Honestly, I'm solid, like you didn't know, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with you either, is the truth. She may just be really straightforward. Prince of Swords. If anything, she might be saying, I've been trying to figure out why we even met, to be honest. It's like this spiral staircase in my mind. I really don't even know. I would have to try to figure out, what am I supposed to say to this person? Why did we meet? What role? Why was I even put through this? Can we get to the universe and ask the universe then? Let's use this deck. No, I think this deck. Let's use this deck and say, universe, why did these two meet? Because obviously there's been a ton of confusion about soulmate energy and what they meant to each other, what they were supposed to mean to each other. We have a Knight of Wands, we have the Three of Swords. The universe says, well, they were both very attracted to each other, but they were also both heartbroken. Okay, so it was a bit of a lust bond and a trauma bond. Okay, understandable. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, or excuse me, 10 of Cups in the reverse, and the Temperance upright. So to see this, it was a bit of a trauma bond, and they were not doing so great together. And then we couple it with the universe saying they wouldn't probably have been ready for any kind of a 10 of Cups, and they weren't going to give a 10 of Cups to each other, but they could have maybe given each other some kind of support or helped each other identify, I really want peace in my life. I really want, first, I personally need to find peace. Did they, universe, did they help each other find any kind of peace? Magician, yeah. And we have a reflection here. Yeah, both of them have actually ended up stronger and better for this, a little bit more clear that I really should manifest things that I actually want. She was confused about them. They were confused about her. If they're both better off at this point, is there a reason for them to communicate, or can they let this thing go and move on in life? High Priestess, Five of Cups. The universe is like, they both know that they don't want to move on in life without talking to each other again. Certainly one person, but I would say it's both. They don't want to move on and not talk to each other again. That would be a loss, because in truth, these two had similar, whatever broke their hearts before, and it doesn't have to have been romances. They could have both been just wounded souls who met each other, gravitated toward each other, because indeed they had the power to help each other to heal. And in a bizarre way, they actually have, even though this whole thing felt very confusing. But you know what? They both didn't know, like, what are we supposed to be to each other? And I think they both feel like maybe they did each other wrong a little bit, but they don't want to just leave this thing in silence, because it's like, but I care about you, but I don't know that I can say that we're supposed to be married. Look, when you're too wounded, it's really hard to figure out what you're going to do, period. Universe, can we just see anything for the potential outcome for these two? Ace of Cups. At the end of the day, these two actually maybe have a lot of caring for each other, a lot of genuine love. And we're talking like human love for each other. Does it mean that they're in love with each other? No, but the outcome is they actually do really love each other. Justice, and they love each other enough to also say, and that's why I feel like I did you wrong, because if I hurt you, or if I made you feel like you somehow weren't enough, that couldn't be further from the truth. They both have to, I think, for their own like souls, admit, like, I needed to tell you that I actually love you, even if I didn't know how to explain that. What does that mean, though? Is there a romance still on the horizon for them? No. Eight of Cups. It's more like, all right, then we can walk away from the idea of being romantic. Yeah, we're friends. We love each other as people, but we're not a romantic match. I think that these two can leave the whole topic of romance out of the equation from here on out, but they can stay in each other's lives now with clarity about, I love you. I wouldn't want to be in this world, without being able to talk to you, but we're not a romantic match. And it just feels like they're okay with that. It's such a refreshing turn of events. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it